Hello YouTube watchers. I am coming to you today with a quick video on the new Sony RX 100 Mark VI. Now this is the 100 Mark V, but I have gone over the specs of the Sony RX 100 Mark VI, and I'm just going to tell you a couple of differences and one reason I'm glad I have the 5. Couple reasons. First, everything on the camera of the 6 is exactly the same. It's got the flip-up screen. It does tilt down a little bit further on the 6, so that's a bonus for that. Next, it's the lens. That's the big one. It now goes from 24 to 200, but the aperture on that changes now from 2.8 to 4.5. Now on this camera, it's a 24 to 70, but it's a 1.8 to a 2.8. So you're losing over just a little bit of over one stop of light on the wide end, and you're losing that 2.8 on the long end here, because I guarantee it'll stop down pretty fast. And that's one reason why they could fit it in the body, is they had to change the aperture of the lens to make it fit this same body. So to me that's a big downside, because I fly with this on my gimbal a lot, and especially if it's in a little bit lower light, this camera really sings at 1.8, and I like that on the wide end, especially if I'm shooting indoors or shooting any kind of night scenes. I think that's one of the benefits of this camera, is the 1.8 aperture on the wide end. So there is no chance that I want to get the Mark VI over this, just due to the aperture size. The other feature that it has that I'm interested in, but it's not a deal breaker for me to get rid of this, is HDR recording. I use a custom profile, Sony profile, on this, and I'll link to a video that a little review of this camera, and I show some clips and really poor lighting in the Biltmore house, and you can see for yourself how well this little camera does. But for me, I'm sticking with the Sony RX 105. The battery size is the same on the new one. I'm sure there's probably going to be a record limit on 4K. This tends to overheat quite a bit. And for stock, wide angle is actually more valuable than zoom, because if you're shooting people, 24 to 70 is a great range. Also, the 1.8, like I said before. For stock video, I would highly recommend this over the new Sony. I assume the new one has the built-in ND filters as well, which was a killer feature that also brought me to this. It's a great vlogging camera, a great stock video camera, one of my favorite cameras to use and shoot with. So, hey, that's just my opinion on the Sony RX 100 Mark VI. I'm sticking with the 5, and I hope this was helpful. And you can do your own conclusions on it, but you know, the 5, the new one is a couple $100 more. Save yourself a couple $100. Get the Mark V over the Mark VI. I think you'll be just as happy, unless you really want that zoom. If you're a street photographer and you basically just do street, then the zoom is going to be what you want. But for stock video purposes or regular video purposes, I still think this is better. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.